high above the frozen valleys of Alaska, where storms never rest, an old eagle watches the rising sun. His feathers are dull with age, but his eyes still burn with fire. He is a silhouette against the dawn, a living monument perched on the edge of the world. For 20 winters, he ruled the sky. Every predator, every bird, every living thing beneath these clouds knew his name. They knew the shadow of his wings, the piercing cry that echoed through the canyons. He was the undisputed monarch of this domain. His memory is a torrent of sharp, vivid images, diving through clouds like a feathered arrow, snatching a wriggling fish from the icy river below. The world was his hunting ground, and his skill was legendary. But time spares no king. It is a slow, creeping thief, stealing strength, one feather, one beat of the wing at a time. The winds that once carried him effortlessly now seem to push against him with a relentless force. He spreads his wings, the massive span that once dominated the air, but they tremble slightly, a betraying tremor of age. He leaps from the cliff, a familiar motion practiced 1,000 times, and glides through the thick, swirling mist. His flight was once flawless swift, as lightning, a dance of power and grace. But now, each beat of his wings reminds him that strength fades. The crisp, powerful strokes have been replaced by a weary, labored rhythm. The sky feels heavier, the air thicker. He spots a shimmer in the river below, the glint of scales under the surface. Instinct takes over. He folds his wings and dives, a maneuver he has perfected over a lifetime. But the timing is off by a fraction of a second. His talons slice through the water, closing on nothing but the cold, empty current. The splash echoes his frustration, a loud, mocking sound in the quiet valley. In his youth, hunger was a challenge, a game he always won. Now, it's a battle, a constant, knowing reminder of his own decline. He lands heavily on a barren rock, his chest heaving, panting with an exhaustion that goes deeper than muscle. Even kings grow weary. The weight of his reign, of all the seasons he has endured, settles upon him. As if summoned by his weakness, thunder rumbles in the distance. And there, against the darkening sky, a new presence emerges. A young eagle soars high above the valley, a vibrant, powerful figure cutting through the air with arrogant ease. And when a throne weakens, another always rises. It is the unwritten law of this wild kingdom, a cycle as old as the mountains themselves. The younger eagle circles above, his sharp, piercing cry a declaration. It's a sound of ambition, of untamed energy. He was fast, fearless, and full of fire, the future written in feathers of gold. His plumage is immaculate, his eyes sharp with the hunger of a contender. The old eagle looks up, his gaze steady, silent but proud. He does not cower or cry out in defiance. He simply watches. The sky that once belonged to him now echoed with another's cry. The challenge is inevitable. The young eagle swoops close, a blur of aggressive motion, testing the old king's defenses. They clash midair, a chaotic flurry of wings and talons. A few of the old eagle's weathered feathers drift down, spiraling into the abyss below. It wasn't hatred. It was destiny. A raw, primal transfer of power. The sky can only have one ruler, and this sacred territory is not large enough for 2 generations of kings. The old must make way for the new. But destiny waits for no one. As if the conflict between the eagles has awakened a greater force, the sky itself begins to rage. Dark clouds gather with menacing speed, swallowing the peaks. Lightning flashes, illuminating the jagged cliffs in stark, terrifying relief. The storm was coming, one that would test not youth, not strength, but spirit. It was a storm of biblical proportions, a force of nature that respected neither age nor ambition. While the young challenger might seek shelter, the old king sees something else in the tempest. An opportunity. A final stage. He flies into the howling wind, raindrops as cold as ice hitting his wings. He knew he couldn't escape time. He couldn't win the battle against youth, but he could face it with one last flight. He would not fade away in the shadows of a cave. He would meet his end in the heart of the sky he once commanded. He climbs higher, his old wings trembling not with fear, but with sheer effort, pushing against the gale. Lightning flashes all around him, a chaotic symphony of light and sound. The wind shrieks, tearing at his feathers. Above the storm, beyond fear, he would remind the skies who he truly was. This was not a retreat. It was an ascension. He was flying towards the very heart of the chaos, embracing it. The music of the storm rises, an epic orchestral roar. The eagle soars higher and higher, breaking through the thick, suffocating layers of cloud. And then, for a moment, he is above it all. The wind screamed his name as thunder roared below. It was not a flight of fear. It was a flight of pride. A final, defiant act of a monarch refusing to be forgotten. In a breathtaking slow-motion shot, a bolt of lightning flashes behind him, silhouetting his magnificent form. He spreads his wings wide, and through a break in the clouds, a beam of golden sunlight bathes him in a divine glow. For the old king of the skies, this was not the end. It was the beginning of his last era. He had reclaimed his sky, if only for this one, glorious moment to becoming one with the storm. A legend forged in thunder and light. The story of his final reign had just begun.